And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fairway to Heaven right here on DSM Media. We're live, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, you know drill. Smash that like button, share button, retweet button. Get the word out about Fairway to Heaven, the best fantasy golf and gambling show there is. We're heading to Louisiana. We're heading to New Orleans for the Zurich Classic. And we got all the information. A lot of guys, not talking down on them, they all do great work. A lot of them are taking the week off because of the tag team event that we've got going on the PGA Tour this week. But me, I'm coming to you. I'm going to give you about 30, 40 minutes, a shorter, abbreviated, earlier show to give you as much information as I can, run through some of the teams and stuff like that. We'll get to it all in a second. We're partnered here at Fairway to Heaven with Fantasy National Golf Club. Check them out, fantasynational.com, at Fantasy National on Twitter. They give you the best model-making tools and information possible so that you can make the best decisions when trying to fill out your fantasy lineups and your gambling card every single week. Again, it's the 2022 Zurich Classic this week. It's the team event. Before we break it down, I do want to talk a little bit about last week. You know, the RSM Classic. Shout out to Jordan Spieth and all the Jordan Spieth backers out there. Drew Ward at Detroit Drew, my man Jason Sullivan. They've never wavered in their support of Jordan Spieth. They've been sticking with Jordan Spieth every time. And if last week tells you anything, play Jordan Spieth Easter week all the time because he seems to win quite a bit. And there's a special event next year on Easter weekend. I think it's called the Masters or something. And the Masters Sunday falls on Easter Sunday. I just looked literally 5 minutes ago before the show started. I can get on DraftKings. I can get him 20-1, Jordan Spieth, to win the Masters. I don't know. He likes playing on Easter week. I don't know. Someone can find me better than 20-1 odds. I'd love to take it, but we'll see about it. You know what? And Jordan Spieth wouldn't even have won if it wasn't for Shane Lowry. Literally, on one hole, Shane Lowry cost me about a 7-time return on my money. So I made money last week. I covered my investment. A little bit better than break even, maybe like 1.5-time return, which is, you can make money. That's good in fantasy golf, gambling golf. You make money every week, and you hope for 1 or 2 big weeks a year. That's good. But Shane Lowry cost me a lot of money last week. Chip it into the water on the 14th hole on that part. Double bogey in that hole on 14. I literally dropped from up here. I was contending for my first ever GPP win. I was literally in 4th place in it was it the single? No, it was the 3 max entry one. 4th place when he was on like hole 11, hole 12. It just crashed. I mean, it still finished in the top 40 or something like that, or top 30, but man, I was contending for the win. Shane Lowry, you are trying so hard there last week to get on my DTM, my dead to me list. You tried. You really did try. I don't know if I could put you on my dead to me list forever, because I do love Shane Lowry's game. And, going to St. Andrews here, in a few months, he's going to be one of my early favorites to win out there. There's no doubt about it. But, man, great week last week at the RSM class. The RBC Heritage. I said the RSM. I don't even know. The RBC Heritage. Great work for Jordan Spieth. Terrible job for Shane Lowry. But, hey, we made money, so that's good. If you're tallying my picks, we're making money this year. So what's going on this week? The Zurich Classic. It's tag team. It's the PGA Tour meets the Road Warriors, the Dudley Boys, the Hart Foundation. You know, it's where tag team golf comes in effect. So some people like it, some people don't. So I mean, there's not as much information. There's not as much strokes gained, information out there. There's not as much. There's a lot more volatility in this kind of event. So a lot of people are shying away from it. I don't think you need to do that. I think you can easily still make money this week. Now, I'm dialing it back. I'm not going full bore 24, 25 lineups. I'm not going full bore 5, 10, 15 bets this week. I'm going to do 2 or 3 single entries, maybe the 3 max entry. I got 3 outright bets. I'm just cutting it off at my 3 outright bets. But that's just because of the volatility involved. But I'm still going to be doing my showdown lineups every single day. I'm still going to be playing events. And I'm still hoping the fact that I put some time into researching this week that I'll have a leg up. And if you stay in this show, you'll gain some information. And if you have any questions, head over to the YouTube page of DSM Media. It's where I can put, your questions, if you have them, up on the screen, answer them live on the show, just like this, or on Facebook also. Or if you want, you can hit me up on Twitter, Beard of Knowledge, or at Fairway2Heaven _ and DM me, and I'll answer your questions, as quickly as I see them come in. So what's the format? So they have 2 different formats: 4-ball and foursome. Thursday and Saturday are 4-ball format, and what that means, let me give you a little rundown because this is very important to know. 4-ball format. So basically, you got tag teams. So the defending champions, Cam Smith and Mark Leishman, they're going to tee off on Thursday and Thursday, and if they make the cut Saturday, they're going to play their ball straight through. Cam Smith makes birdie, Mark Leishman makes par, they're going to mark down on their scorecard birdie. They're going to mark down -1. If one gets par, one gets bogey, they're going to write down the par. If they both get par, they write down the par. So they basically play their ball, and the best score per hole is what they record. On Friday and Championship Sunday, it's the foursome format. A lot more difficult. Whereas the 4-ball, you're playing the best score. One of the two is going to, you can see a 59 or a 60 go out there. Okay, that's why they don't count it towards the low rounds of all time. Cam Smith and Mark Leishman last year shot 18 under on Thursday and Saturday over 2 days, but only 2 under on Friday and Sunday because it's 4-ball, foursome format. It's such a tongue tie. 4-ball format, foursome format. I keep getting tongue tied on this. So basically what they do is they rotate. So Cam Smith, just say, for example, tees off on all the odd holes, 1, 3, 5, 7, so on. Mark Leishman tees off on 2, 4, 6, all the even holes. And then whoever tees off, Cam Smith tees off, the second shot has to be hit by Mark Leishman. The third shot has to be hit by Cam Smith. And so on, until you make the ball into the hole. And that's where it gets a little tougher because you got to work as a team and you got to work on, Cam Smith, he tees it off, puts it in a certain spot. Mark Leishman has to, on par 5, if you tee off, can your second guy get there? Well, if not, maybe you hold back. There's a lot of strategy that goes on Friday and Sunday. So when we're building lineups this week, looking for teams that complement each other definitely helps. But also, guys that, are recently playing well because, you can have, I don't care how good, say, Scotty Scheffler's playing. If Ryan Palmer is complete dog trash, which I'm not saying he is, but I'm just using it as an example, it doesn't matter. You got to have 2 guys because on those Friday and Sunday rounds, you both have to be in tip-top shape because you're also gonna be using, if Cam Smith tees off with his golf ball, Mark Leishman has to hit his golf ball. And I know to us casuals, what's the difference in a golf ball? Those guys, they have golf balls tailor-made to their games and their styles. So it plays in a factor. It's also why someone like Bubba Watson hasn't had a lot of great success here because he's a little quirky of a guy. His visual, the way he sees a golf course is different than other people. So, maybe he just doesn't work in this format as well. So based off of all that, TPC Louisiana is where they're playing down there in Avondale, Louisiana. It's kind of near New Orleans. It's a little over 7,400 yard Pete Dye course. It's a longer course. I think it's in the top 10 on distance on tour. It's got 4 par 4s that are over 470. That's a long, and all the par 3s are over 200 yards. So it's a longer course for sure. The rough's not very penile, so getting in the fairway is important, but it's not totally the worst. I'm looking at 2 things mainly. I'm looking at tee to green. I'm looking at approach this week, of course. I'm tracking putting because at least one of the 2 people on the team better be a good putter, if not both. But I'm looking at shots gained total over the last 24 rounds. I like to do 36, 50 rounds normally. This week, I'm doing 24 rounds. I'm looking at shots gained total. I just want a well-rounded, all-around game from teams. When I'm looking at birdies or better, I need guys that are going to score. You're going to see 20, 22 under win this tournament, and it's going to come on the Thursday and Saturday when teams start to separate themselves from the crowd. I need guys that are going to score and score a lot. So birdies or better is so important. When you're building your lineups on DraftKings, you can't pick Colin Morikawa and Victor Hovland. They're on the same team. If you pick Colin Morikawa, you get Victor Hovland. They don't get both get points. If Victor Hovland makes birdie, you're getting the points if you pick Colin Morikawa. So you can only pick, and error messages will come up if you try to pick guys from the same team. But just keep that in mind when you're doing your research. You can only pick one from each team, obviously. But yeah, birdies. That's what we need. What's up, Adam? Hey, how you doing tonight? And thanks for checking in. It's a lot of fun this week. Like I said, it's different. It's stranger, but you know what? It's a little bit more fun. So anyway, I loaded a model up. I'm not focused on where they ranked in my model this week too much. I just used it as a screen so that I would have a way to, kind of get an understanding of where all these guys are in the most important categories this week. So let's take a little look here at it. I put in approach, shots gained total, birdies or better, tee to green, and putting. That's all. I'm looking at the wellest rounded stats that are needed. The approach stat, which is huge on Pete Dye courses. Tee to green because, you're going to hit the fairway most of the time anyway. And putting because you're going to need somebody that can putt the ball in your team. So top end, you got 1, 2, 3. You got 4 teams above the 10K range here. You got Victor Hovland and Colin Morikawa. 2 of the hottest golfers on tour. No surprise that they're the highest priced team. They've never teamed together in this event. I don't even know how well they know each other. I mean, obviously they rate out well on my model. They're both great approach. When you're at the top end here, they're both a little iffy at the putting and all. They're not short game specialists by any means, but they score a lot of points, and I do love them. Their ownership, they're actually only the 6th highest owned team, but this is easily a team that could win it. I would not be surprised if they're the winning team at the end here. I wouldn't bet them just because their odds aren't great, which I'll get into when we get to teams that I've bet. I got a couple of them. Patrick Cantley, Xander Schauffele. Cantley obviously second place last week. Lost it in the playoff to Jordan Spieth there. Playing great golf, not the best approach player, but does everything pretty well. Xander Schauffele hasn't had his greatest season this year, but still, this team here, 10-4, they're not worth price in my opinion, because I think their ceiling and floor is too close. Are they going to win? In my opinion, probably not. But they're probably going to finish 5th, 6th place somewhere in that range. And they're not going to do worse than 15th. I just think ownership wise, and I think overall, they're projected 17, about 20% ownership. I don't see the value in there. And you're going to see there's some interesting things. You're going to see names attached to other names like Scotty Scheffler. He's pretty far down the list, but it's because he's got Ryan Palmer and that's his partner, or Davis Riley, who's so high because he's got a good partner. A lot of interesting things go into making these teams. You got the defending champions of this event, Cam Smith and Mark Leishman. Cam Smith, obviously, one of the best golfers on tour. Obviously, there's no doubt about it. I got to close out some tabs here. I got too many open, and it's lagging my internet, man. The share and screen stuff, man, really kills it. All right, so, yeah, man, I'm just going to have to take that off. You're going to have to see my pretty face, guys. That's all there is to it. And you're just going to have to trust the information that I'm going down here on the screen here. I'm not sure why the internet just does not like share screens here anymore. Anyway, all right, I got the internet back up and running here. So Cam Smith, Mark Leishman, defending champions. Obviously, like I said, Cam Smith's playing great golf. Mark Leishman, though, can you really invest 10-2 in this team when Mark Leishman, let me give you what he's done lately. 30th at the Masters, miscut the Players, 66 at the Arnold Palmer. I mean, he's a good golfer. There's no doubt about it. He's only missed one cut. 68th at the Arnold Palmer, man. Come on now. 36 at Sony Open. We can go back to last year. I mean, defending champion, yes. Priced at 10-2 with Mark Leishman. Look at it. Birdies are better, 114th. I just don't trust them. I don't trust on Friday and Sunday that the two of them are going to get the job done. I just don't. Billy Horschel, Sam Burns, that kind of intrigues me a little bit at 10K. I think they have out of the top top range here. They have the widest. They could win just like any of these other teams in the top end. But I also think they can, finish in 40th place or miss the cut even. We got Scotty Scheffler teamed with Ryan Palmer. The first time we're going to see the Masters champion, Scotty Scheffler, in action. Yeah, he's great. But Ryan Palmer, man, Mark Leishman isn't the greatest golfer in the world to go with Cam Smith. Man, Ryan Palmer, he seems to always find himself with a number one ranked golfer in this event. Missed the cut at the Masters, Valero 48th, missed at the Players, 70th at the Honda, missed cut. So since February, he's got 1, 2, 3. He's got 4 out of 6 missed cuts. I'm not taking any chances, especially considering early ownership percentages have, where are they on here? 24%. I think he's the second highest projected owned team. The Cam Smith defending champs, the highest projected owned teams. The Scotty Scheffler team, second highest projections there in ownership. Not taking that. I'm not taking that dive there. Not at all. Shane Lowry, Ian Poulter, great team. Shane Lowry's playing great golf. High ownership. Pete Dye guys. Really good, strong team there. Sergio and Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood's playing great. Sergio may have turned it around a little bit at the Masters. Let me see here real quick. I mean, he wasn't playing great, golf by his standards, but he finished 23rd at the Masters, 26th at the Players. Gained strokes, tee to green. So he might have found something there. So, I mean, again, I don't need 20-some, I'm not picking 20-some teams because I'm not playing 24 lineups. So I'm a little bit more selective, but I don't disagree with you playing Tommy Fleetwood and Sergio Garcia. They just might not score enough birdies. They might not birdie the ball. I don't know. Sergio, 19th birdies are better. That's Fleetwood. 33rd for Sergio. I just don't know. Sergio's approach game over his last 24 rounds has not been great. I don't know. I'm not willing to take that risk there. I love the Chilean sensation team at 9,200. Joaquin Niemann playing fantastic golf, obviously. Mito Pereira. You could just see a WWE Tag Team Champions, the Chilean sensations, walking out with their jumbotron music and all. But joking aside, they're playing great golf. They're great on approach. They're great shots gained total. Mito's gives a little bit back on the birdies are better, but Joaquin Niemann is third in this field last 24 rounds in birdies. Second tee to green, Mito 10th tee to green. They leave a little bit desired on putting, but as long as one of them's putting half decent, it's a really good team. The first team that I bet actually is the 9,100 team. Taylor Gooch and Max Homa. I bet them 28-1, and 9,100 is a steal for them. I mean, they're going to be highly owned. They're 17% owned right now, projection. It might go up closer to 20 for them, but they're great golfers. Great. 11th or 20th on approach for Homa, 18th on shots gained total. They complement each other well. Taylor Gooch isn't the greatest putter, but Max Homa is 26th in the field. So great team there. Great golfers. Love it. Already talked about Bubba. I'm not a fan of him. And with Harold Varner, I don't like it. Again, I'm just running through a lot. I'm not going to go over every team at the top half. I'm going over a lot of them. But as we get down, I'm going to skip around a little bit more here on teams I like. I love the Davis Riley, Will Zalatoris team. I bet them 36-1. They're my second of my 3 bets that I got. Will Zalatoris, first off, he's going to win on tour. In the last 24 rounds, he's number 1 in approach and number 1 tee to green in this field. Number 1 in both those categories. He's 9th birdies or better, 4 shots gained total. Leaves a little bit to be desired with his putting. He's 125th out of 160 golfers putting right now. This last 24. That's not good. But at least Davis Riley's an average putter. And, he doesn't give much up on, the birdies or better category either. Davis Riley also, let me pull up his more detailed screen here. He missed a cut last week, but we go back a couple events, second at the Valspar, and he made the cut at the Valero. Actually, only 2 of his last 6 events he's missed the cut. He's always gaining tee to green, always gaining around the green, something that Zalatoris isn't as good as. He's got a couple of his Valspar. He gained 7 strokes to the field, putting the ball at the Valspar. So again, like I said, complementary players. Davis Riley complements Will Zalatoris. 8,900 is a really good price. And let me check his ownership. Right now they're at 20. They're one of the higher price teams, probably like 6th or 7th price team in ownership. But yeah, I still dig it. I love that team. Hatton Willett, Im and On. I know a lot of people are talking about that. I think it was Powers and Graham McDowell, maybe. I don't know. Something's got me irked to maybe talk about that, maybe. Same as Powers. We know he's been playing great golf this year. Graham McDowell, a slight resurgence. I don't know. In this 8K range, it's obviously to me, it's the Riley, Willie Z. That's one of the top teams. Well, that's the top team in the 8K range. But a little bit further down, there's some other teams, but two that I love. And I think you can kind of pivot between the two of them there. You got Sepp Straka and Grayson Sigg. Sepp Straka, we know, playing great golf, was so close to making that playoff last weekend. Great, great birdies are better type guy, great tee to green, 10th ranked putter in the field, where Grayson Sigg's only the 50th ranked putter, but he's really good birdies are better. He makes up ground and approach. He's a better approach player than Sepp Straka. I love the complementariness of Sepp Straka and Grayson Sigg. I think they play well together, but they're projected at 18%. Maybe close. They'll probably hit closer to 20%, honestly. So how do you pivot off of them? They're 8,300. You go up $100 is what you do. Normally we pivot down, from an 8,400 to 8,300. But I'm going to pivot from Sepp Straka and Grayson Sigg from 8,300 up to Pat Kaziri and JT Poston. Okay, first off, Kaziri, great on approach, really good birdie type guy. Really, really solid tee to green kind of player, great ball striker. He's iffy, but Poston's a better putter. Makes up there for it. JT Potson. Let me check out his details here. Third last week, obviously, with the RBC Heritage, 41st at the Valero, 42nd at the Honda. And when he's contending, he's gaining strokes across the board. He's gaining strokes putting. He's gaining strokes tee to green. All the important things. So I really like JT Poston this week. I think it's a really good play with Pat and Kaziri. And where Sepp and Grayson are projected to be over 20%, Kaziri and Poston, they're projected at 7%. It's a steal, and you should really consider playing those guys. The other team I really do like in this range is the Adam family. You got Adam Hadwin and Adam Svensson. Yes, another tag team name. You can just see them coming out to the Adams Family Values theme music as they're walking out to the ring. I know. I'm trying to have fun this week here. The Svensson team. You're looking at the Adam family at 16%, which is a little high. But we know what Adam Hadwin's doing this year. He's playing great golf. He's 5th in approach, 8th in total, 5th in birdies are better, 4th tee to green. Not the greatest putter in the world. Adam Svensson, though, let me take a deeper dive because, he's playing better golf than normal. 26 last week. When he makes the cut, even when he misses the cut at the Valero, he's been gaining strokes putting his last 4 events. So, if Adam Hadwin's missing some putts, you got him who's gaining strokes there. He also gained strokes tee to green in his better finishes. Hell, at the Honda, he finished 9th, Svensson, and he lost 4.5 strokes putting. That just tells you how good of a golfer Svensson is. So I really do like that pairing. 8K, really good. Not thrilled with their ownership percentage projections, but again, we'll see. All right, drop down into that 7K range here. Which one do we want to talk about first? I'm looking at my notes here. All right, we can go Bremlett and McNeely. I'm losing. I don't have it up on the screen anymore, so I kind of have to wing it here on the side screen here. All right, so McNeely, where I got him there. Okay, so he comes in 23rd in my thing. McNeely's, again, we know what he is. He's a great golfer. He's also 11th in the field, birdies are better, and 25th putting. Bramlett makes up some of that, approach game. He's about 11 spots better at approach than Matt McNeely. He's equal on tee to green. He leaves a little bit to desire putting the ball. But if you do a deeper dive into Bramlett here, 48th last week, gained strokes putting, gained strokes off the tee to green. Missed cut the Valero. 48th at the Valspar, gained strokes across the board, except for putting. Missed cut the Players, 28th at the Puerto Rico. 53rd at the Phoenix Open. He's missed 3 cuts all year, and that's it. That's not too damn bad. 20th at Sony Open. Lost strokes putting, but that was pretty much it. That Bramlett-McNeely pairing, it's a sneaky good pairing. But again, 16% ownership. So where do you go? You want to drop down from 16%? You drop down to the same price range, 7,700, where you go Doug Gim and Matthias Schwab. Let me switch to my other screen. Schwab, 24th overall in my model, if you want to call it, because he's 25th in approach, 36 shots gained total, 36 tee to green, 24th putting. That's Schwab. And where's Doug Gim? Doug Gim, 37th tee to green. He leaves a little bit to be desired with his birdies or better category. But let me see where he's been lately. Obviously, 35th last week, gain strokes across the board, 6th at the players. Oh, man, these numbers at the players, 9.3 shots gained total, 8 tee to green. Man, I love it even more. He had some miscuts, but before that, but he's really in his last 3 events really turned it around. So the Doug Gim, Schwab combo there, it's about 7% ownership savings. I do like it. I do like it a lot. Let's continue going down here. I'm not big into the Kevin Kisner team this week. The Norin and Norlander, can't really get behind that. Just something there just doesn't feel right. Yeah, I guess Russell Knox and Brian Stewart, 7,500. Both great approach players, really good shots gained total. One of them's a good birdie or better guy. 14th for Russell Knox, tee to green. They're just, I know my man Rick Rungood, he loves to talk about team no putt. There's another team no putt right there. One's 103 ranked in the field, one's 129. Yeah, stay away. I'm staying away from that personally. That's just me. I like the Lipsky-Rye, Aaron Rye combo. Both are really good at a lot of things, but Rye's been a birdie machine this year on tour. It's 7,400. I like that team. It's 7.9% ownership projection. I love that team. So there's a lot to love there. So I'm playing that Rye Lipsky team this week for sure. Let's see here. We'll go down this list a little bit further. 6K range. It's tough down this 6K range. It really is. There's a lot of unknowns, I guess is the way to say it. Actually back up here real quick to the 71. I saw another name on my list here that I did want to touch on for a half a second. That's the Redmond Ryder team. Where are they on my list? There's Ryder, 26 birdie or better in the field. I like that a lot. Doc Redmond, strong across the board, 28th putting, 34th approach. That Redmond Ryder pairing is something that people might want to look at. Just under 10% right now. But it's something I like. I like them. But back down to this 6K range, dude, it's slim pickings in these teams down here. I don't even know how some of these guys made their team selections. I'm looking at Long and Hogue, maybe. Long is a decent shots gained total, tee to green guy. Hogue doesn't really do much, but, Bo Hogue, there's a reason why I wrote them down. Let me look. I don't know. He's not much shots gained category, stuff at the Punta Cana, Puerto Rico. Maybe it's because he was played well else on tour. Maybe he played well at the on the Corn Ferry. I don't even know. But I like them. I wrote them down for some reason. I don't know. Bream Hubbard, Percy Haggy. I don't know. I guess I'm going to go with my 6K whisper thing. I had Duncan last week. I gave you guys him. I'm constantly giving you guys great plays down here in the 6K range. So we're going to go Vaughn Taylor and Herman at 6,400. Vaughn Taylor made 5 of his last 6 cuts, including 7th at the Puerto Rico. And where's my Herman dude here? I got to bring him up because people are going to sleep on him, but he's actually got some other good numbers here. So 56, 71 missed cut, 7th at Puerto Rico also. So guys, there's my 6K whisper. It's the Taylor Herman combo. Let me see, 6,400. Herman, it just looks terrible. But Vaughn Taylor, 37th overall. So 36 approach, 38 totals, 40th birdie or better, 30th second tee to green. Vaughn Taylor, watch out for him. You guys might be pleasantly surprised. We'll see if I'm right again. But even Jim Herman, who struggled, he's missed some cuts. He gained 8 shots total. At Puerto Rico, has finished there. Valero, he lost a lot of strokes. Valero, the RBC, 58 there. Gained strokes tee to green, off the tee, and around the green. All right, there we go. We got something positive to say about Jim Herman. But that's my guy right there. So I mentioned two. So I got Gooch and Home at 28-1. I got Riley Willie 36-1. I also got Sig and Straka, where I might be pivoting off of them, Sib and Straka, and going to JT, Poston and Pat Kaziri on a play. At 55-1, I do love Sig and Straka. I really think they could be a winning pair. Um, we're gonna try to build a lineup here. We're gonna see if it messes with my internet connection here again, like it did before. DraftKings share. All right, we don't need Jim Herman's information up on the screen there. Yeah, all right. Let's see what it's doing to my Wi-Fi. All right, so far we're good here. So I'm going to try to build a lineup here and try to find a way to get some of these favorites of mine in a lineup and see what it does. So obviously, like I said, I love the Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland team, and I love the Willie Z and Riley team. Okay, so let's see what that leaves me there with. That leaves me with 7,600 to build a team. So what do we do from there? Where do we go there? It's actually kind of really difficult. This whole I said I'm going to go keep with my my 6K Whisper. We'll put the Jim Herman Taylor team in there. Why not? If they make the cut, that pays off their value easily. Then we get into that 7K range. Do we go Gim Shroud? I don't know if I have the money for them. Let's see what happens if I put. If we go the JT and Kaziri team, what's that put me at? 78. So that means then I got to go the Redmond Rider team that I talked about there that I really like. That leaves me 8,500. I don't know about that one there. All right, so got to find a way to get some more better players. So we take the Kaziri team out of there, and we go Lipsky Rye. Do we go that way? Can we be confident? What does that put me at there? 9,500. Then I could put a Gooch Homa. Do we feel like that's a winning lineup right there? I'm not really sure. I mean, I like the Redmond Rider team. If I take them out, that puts me at 7,500. What's that do for me there? Knox Stewart, they're good. I just don't know if they could score enough points. That's a concern. You got to score birdies this week. So if we leave Lipsky and Rye in there. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with this week. You got to be different. You definitely have to be different this week. It makes it very complicated. That's why there's so much thought process going into these lineups this week that it's tough. So you kind of might have to play a few less lineups because it's going to take you a long time to build these lineups this week. But yeah, it's the Zurich Classic. It's tag team. It's not as serious of an event. Some of the golfers love it. Some of the podcasters love it. Some of them don't. I have no problem with it. I enjoy it. I know I'm going to make some money this week. There's no doubt about it in my mind. It's a matter of, does everybody else make any money at it as well? But I will. I think everybody just needs to, be patient building their lineups. Be patient. Just look for guys that are going to score. Look for guys that are going to get birdie. That is all that matters this week. But that's all I got this week. It was a short episode. I told you. I didn't think it was going to be crazy long this week. Just wanted to get some thoughts out there. And I appreciate all my followers and everything. And we might start doing this at 7 o'clock a little bit more often. I like this 7 o'clock time frame because the night's not over. So it gives us a little time to continue working on the lineups. And I'm not up till 11, 12 o'clock at night after a 9 o'clock show. So we might make some of these shows at 7 o'clock. I know a lot of you missed it because, you're not used to 7 o'clock. So you'll catch it on replay. If you got any questions, again, hit me up on Twitter. Beard of Knowledge, Fairway to Heaven. Those Twitter accounts right there. I'll answer your questions, any of them that you've got. But yeah, that's my time. That's all I got for you tonight. Stay tuned right here on DSM Media. If you're watching on DSM Media, in 25 minutes, Phillies pregame live with Dylan, Jason. I think Mark's going to be on. I might even pop my head on in for a little Phillies pregame live. So make sure you're tapped in there to DSM Media. And guys, everybody have a great night. Let's make some money at the Zurich Classic this week. Tag team champions of the world, and Mark Leishman and Cam Smith put their title on the line. Y'all have a great night. I'll talk to you later. And yeah, let's cash again this week. No double bogeys on 14 for Shane Lowry this week.